Welcome back to Movies Recapped. Hello friends, today we will expand the movie, named Bad Teacher, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, then please subscribe and press bell icon so that you can get notification of video instantly. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. And I hope you enjoy it. Let's start the movie now. Summer vacation was about to start, and all the school teachers are about to go on vacation, and they celebrate by remembering the old memories of school, and the same teacher tells us that Elizabeth is going to leave us, so she can be celebrated by farewell, and then she gives a nice speech there and leaves from there. When she comes home, she has a boyfriend at home and her fiancé's mother is also there, and her mother tells her that her accountant told that Elizabeth had spent $16,000 on her son's account. Because of which her mother feels that Elizabeth only loves her money and not her son. So his fiancé also gets angry with him, and he also speaks up to be separated from Elizabeth. Elizabeth did not want to be separated from him, but her mother also asks to be separated, due to which the two are separated from each other forever. Then the school holidays pass and Elizabeth joins the same school again as engagement breaks down. She finds a teacher named Amy, and he talks to her about her fiancé's relationship, and then Elizabeth leaves. The second day is shown in school, where the children come to study and they have their first day of school, and everyone is talking about their summer vacation. Then Elizabeth comes to class and she seems to be very sleepy. As soon as she comes to class, she turns off the classroom lights and sits on the chair, and starts showing the children on the first day, a movie called Stand and Deliver, and falls asleep with a coat on her head. Then lunch is made. During lunch Elizabeth comes to a gym teacher named Russell and asks Elizabeth to walk out, but Elizabeth refuses, saying that she will not go on a date with a coworker. A teacher then arrives and starts convincing Elizabeth of the rules and regulations, but Elizabeth becomes angry with him and leaves. Just then, a new teacher named Scott arrives at the school and Elizabeth is impressed by seeing him, and starts talking to him and asks about his personal life. Then Scott shows him a photo of his old girlfriend who gives him a year. She had left earlier and says that she was a girl with a very big heart whom Elizabeth jealous feels because her body was very good, and she also wanted to be like him, so she goes to a doctor to get breast surgery. After getting it done, it was able to keep its breast large. But she does not have that much money, so she is unable to get an appointment for a surgery, and asks her to go for surgery later. Elizabeth then asks for money from some of her friends, but no one is able to give her so much money. Then at night Elizabeth calls her old friends and asks him for $10,000, but he does not give it to her, which makes Elizabeth very angry at him. The next day Elizabeth goes to class, and shows the same movie again in class. Then a girl comes to Elizabeth and tells her that this time we have been given the task to wash the car, and last year we got $6,000 for washing the car. At which Elizabeth becomes happy thinking something. Then Elizabeth goes to the office to talk to the principal, and then the principal asks Elizabeth if you only showed the movie to the children for the whole day last week. Then Elizabeth says yes, it is necessary to watch as it is necessary to read the book. And Elizabeth says that she wants to supervise the car wash task of the 7th class, but the principal says that this task was supervised by Amy every year, but when Elizabeth says it again, the principal agrees and gives it to supervise the task. After which the next day he starts the task and all the children outside the school start washing cars, and then Elizabeth also comes there, who is wearing a very glamorous and short dress, and she is very glamorous in the car washes, so that a lot of people gather there and give them a lot of money, and after the car wash task is completed, they get a lot of money, and that money is given to the school, and the rest of the money goes to Elizabeth. She is keeping it with her, but Amy sees it while keeping the money and she goes to complain to the principal. And she goes to the bathroom and complains to the principal that Elizabeth has kept some money, on which scolding the principal that Elizabeth has given more money than last year, so don't accuse her of stealing, and scolding Amy from there. Send it. Then during lunch at school, Elizabeth and Scott show up while Amy arrives, and tell Scott that Elizabeth is about to undergo breast surgery, where Elizabeth sees him staring. Then Amy asks Scott if Amy does not speak to him about the surgery. In fact, Elizabeth has told many teachers in the school that she will undergo breast surgery. After that they all leave from there. Then the next day, there is a parent-teacher meeting at the school where several parents talk to Elizabeth about their children, and while there a parent talks to Elizabeth to teach her child tuition, and he gives her a cash payment so that Elizabeth immediately it is agreed. Then many days pass in school in the same way, and Elizabeth keeps collecting money for surgery in different ways, and then comes the winter season where Amy goes to Scott and gives her a book gift because Amy and Scott both started liking each other. After this, the winter dance party is organized by the school and everyone is dancing together here. Then Scott comes to Elizabeth and takes her aside and tells her that he is starting to like Amy there. Elizabeth is heartbroken to hear this, but Elizabeth starts talking to Scott about Amy upside down and tells him that she is a lesbian, is a girl and not of Scott's type, which makes Scott depressed. At the party, Elizabeth goes out with gym teacher Russell and a lady teacher Lily, where they take all the drugs. Now the next day it is Christmas, and one of her school children invites Carrot's mother Elizabeth to her house for Christmas, and Elizabeth goes to her house to have dinner at a family party, and while there Carrot tells Elizabeth her heart and tells that he likes his class girl Chase. On which Elizabeth convinces Carrot that the smart girl will not date him, so think about her. It is then shown the next day at the school where Elizabeth is showing the children a movie again, and in the evening Scott invites Elizabeth to a band party. Lily also goes to the band party with Elizabeth, and Russell is there as well. While there, Scott sings a song for Amy. Seeing Elizabeth sadly starts coming back from there, and in the car, Lily tells Elizabeth that if your class kids topped you would get $5,700 as a bonus. Elizabeth is happy to hear this because she wants to collect money for the surgery. From the next day, Elizabeth starts teaching the children to be serious in class, leaving the children shocked as to what has happened to Elizabeth. Elizabeth asks the children questions, but the children are unable to answer any because Elizabeth did not teach the children anything throughout the year. She used to show only the movie. But she asked the children to do more hard work. The school staff shows up in the room where all the teachers are sitting together, and at the same time Amy and Scott are sitting together talking to each other. Then after a while Elizabeth arrives at the same place and she talks like Amy is feeling unconfirmed. Then the next day Amy tries to get to know about Elizabeth by threatening a girl in the class. The girl is afraid that she has seen Elizabeth taking some medicine, which leads Amy to think that Elizabeth takes drugs, and she complains to Elizabeth about the principal. But the principal says that there is no major evidence that he cannot take any action on Elizabeth and get her drugs tested. After this, she shows up in Elizabeth's class where she is checking the children's class test copy, but there is a lot of mistaking them, which makes her angry on the children, and then the class is over. And Elizabeth feels that her children will fail this time and she will not get the bonus because she has not taught the children anything throughout the year. Then she gets the address of the state exam board office so that she plans to steal the paper, and she becomes a reporter and goes to the state exam board office and tells her name Marjorie, where she meets a man named Carl who would have been in charge there. Elizabeth first threatens Carl, but he does not listen to her, after which Elizabeth starts seducing and flirting with him, then adds a drug to his drink which makes him unconscious, and from there to his school. The answer sheet steals. And now it is shown after a month in the school where the State Board of Schools have done the exam, and the principal tells that their school has come in the top 5, and now the principal is going to tell the name of the teacher whose children tapped happens, and at the same time Amy is feeling that her name will be taken, which makes her very happy because the teacher who gets this prize was going to get $5,700 in bonus, and announces the name of Principal Elizabeth, who that the winner is there and gets a bonus that makes her very happy, but Amy feels very bad. Then she goes to the doctor and gives the money and gets an appointment for surgery. The next day the school plans to take the children on a picnic, and supervise is going to be Amy, but Elizabeth didn't want Amy to go there because Elizabeth wanted to spend time with Scott. So Elizabeth puts a chemical in an apple that Amy is allergic to and puts apple in Amy's class because apple is Amy's favorite. When Amy attends the class, she eats apple, but her face deteriorates due to allergies and she is unable to go on a picnic. After which Elizabeth and the rest of the teacher go on a picnic. On the other hand, Amy goes to Elizabeth's class at school and starts checking her table, but she does not have the key, so she brings her table to her class and takes her from her table, changes the table, and then with the help of the staff there, lies them open the table and starts checking, and she finds Amy's stolen answer sheet in Elizabeth's table, and she takes the answer sheet from the state exam board office. She goes in and threatens Carl and gets information about Elizabeth and gets her to be a witness before everyone. And then Amy comes to the principal and tells them all the things that the principal says about the picnic. We will get the matter investigated later. The children are then shown who are walking into the museum, and the entire staff stops at a hotel, and inside the room in the hotel, acting to be intimate with Elizabeth, Scott, and calling Amy and talking about herself and Scott. She tells Amy that they are jealous after listening to the two of them and they leave Scott. Then the next day, outside the museum, a man is becoming Abraham Lincoln and explaining good things to the children and says to them that we should always speak the words of our mind. After which Carrot speaks that he can give a girl in his class, Chase, a lot likes, but everyone here makes fun of him. Carrot then runs away, crying, and Elizabeth too follows her. Carrot then sits inside a house where Elizabeth starts convincing him. She says that Chase doesn't like you because you look dumb and she likes a stylish boy and not a simple one like you. After which Carrot slowly understands, but he does not want to go back because he thinks everyone will laugh at him, and then Elizabeth removes her bra and asks him to go out and tell someone the senior was just with the girl. And Elizabeth goes out and tells everyone that she has caught Carrot red-handed with another girl from another school, but no one seems to believe her, and only then Carrot shows the bra to everyone, which makes everyone feel the truth and everyone starts valuing it. But Russell learns that Elizabeth did this intentionally, on which he tells thank you to motive a child from Elizabeth because Russell loved him. And Amy arrives at the picnic spot the next day and she tells Elizabeth that her secret is revealed to everyone, that she stole the paper seat from the state exam board office, and then tells Scott that she broke her trust. And scolds her a lot, and then tells us Elizabeth that she will have to return all the money and she will have to go to jail. Amy leaves Elizabeth to meet Elizabeth the next day at the principal's office. Then Elizabeth gives an envelope to a man who is her tenant and she asks him to give it to Carl, the supervisor of the exam board office, and when he is leaving, he accidentally crashes into the car, but Carl is there, but then he gives Carl the envelope containing the nude photos of Carl, and here we find that when Elizabeth went to Carl by becoming Marjorie, she took a nude photo of him unconscious after giving him drugs, that he could blackmail Carl. Then in the next scene, Elizabeth is called to the principal's office where the principal is accompanied by Amy and a police officer who come to investigate. After this, Carl comes there and tells that everything he spoke earlier is a lie, and Elizabeth is the first to see him and he did not steal the paper. To which Amy speaks that you are lying. Then Carl says that he takes drugs. He may have said it while drunk, and the officer says that if you lied you could go to your job. Carl says he is telling the truth and he leaves. After which Amy speaks to take a retest there, but the officer refuses Amy. Then Elizabeth starts saying that there is no perfect flaw, and she says that there are teachers here to take drugs. Then Amy says that it is probably Elizabeth who takes drugs, on which the police officer goes with the dog to check Elizabeth's table. But the police officer's dogs do not go to Elizabeth's classroom and go to Amy's classroom, and they get the drugs from the table there, after which Amy says that the drugs are not hers and that the table is not hers too. Then Elizabeth is with Amy. Speaks not to be disturbed, you will be given full treatment, on which Amy gets angry at Elizabeth and runs to kill her, but the police stop her. It is then shown the next day, where the last day of school is and the summer vacation is about to begin. Where the principal says thanks to everyone, and at the same time Amy is transferred to a school that is very useless, but Amy speaks thankfully to everyone in an angry voice. Last shows that this Scott comes to Elizabeth and tells her that now Amy is leaving, so the two of us should start afresh, but Elizabeth tells that she too is leaving from here, and then Elizabeth is the gym teacher. Russell goes to meet Russell, where Elizabeth and Russell chat for a while and Elizabeth kisses Russell and Elizabeth accepts Russell's love. Then it is shown after 3 months where the summer vacation is over and the school reopens, and a school teacher, Lily, goes to Elizabeth and asks her not to have the surgery. Elizabeth speaks that she will no longer undergo surgery because she no longer has interest and she is dating one good person, and Elizabeth teaches children well. And she becomes the guidance counselor of the school where the counseling of children takes place, and this movie ends here. Watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen, and don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below, and at last I will say, stay safe, and stay well. Thank you so much for watching the video with your precious time.